Welcome back, everyone. The topic today is procrastination, and we're going to try to solve it. Now, procrastination, it might be a word you're very familiar with. It might be a new term to you. It basically means you have something to do and you're not doing it. So, for example, it could be a piece of homework, something from work, something in your home. You have a job to do and you're not doing it. And I guarantee you, everybody's procrastinating on something. Well, the first thing you have to do to solve this problem is first determine, is it real procrastination? Okay, am I even able to do it? Do I have time management tools like a calendar, a to-do list? Do I have the right skills? Maybe I'm not doing the particular item because I don't know how it's done. Maybe it's too big. We have this expression, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. And in that case, we have to learn a little bit of project management. And there could be real obstacles. So ask yourself, are there genuine obstacles in front of me, things that are preventing me from getting the job done? You want to eliminate this list first, okay? Make sure you have the time management tools. If you don't have the necessary skills, go out and get the necessary skills. Learn some project management so you can deal with that elephant. And whatever other obstacles you may have in your way, those also have to be dealt with. Once you've gone through this checklist and you're still not getting the job done, well, that is real procrastination. Okay, what do I mean by that? I mean, you know how to get the job done. You have all the tools and abilities that are required, but you're still not doing it. That's what we mean by procrastination. What do psychologists have to say? Well, interestingly, a lot of them have written about fear. Fear might be the reason why we're procrastinating. Fear is a very paralyzing emotion. I'm not even going to start working on that project or trying to get that job because I'm not going to be successful, so I'm not even going to start. So fear of failure is oftentimes a cause of procrastination, or at least according to psychologists. Surprisingly, also fear of success. If I apply for that management job, they're going to hire me, and then I really have to prove I know this stuff. Then I'm on the line. I'm going to have to manage people and manage a company and do all these things, and I don't want to do that. So another thing that can cause procrastination is you might be afraid of succeeding. So what I want you to do right now is I want you to recall one thing that you're procrastinating on right now. I guarantee you everybody's procrastinating on something. Now try to remember one negative emotion or thought you have every day. Okay, you just can't shake it off. It's always with you. You wake up with that negative feeling. You go to bed with that negative feeling, and you have that negative feeling through the day. Now, here's my question. Is there a connection between that negative emotion or thought process and the procrastination, the work that you're not doing? There is quite possibly a connection between the two. Well, you can do some searching on the internet. It's incredible how much information there is out there on the topic of procrastination. You can do that, and honestly, I think you're going to get overwhelmed. So you might see things like successful people read one book a month. They have a morning routine, a habit they follow in the morning. They plan their week in advance, blah, 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 blah. You don't need to hear all that stuff. You can look it up. It is valuable, but honestly, it's not going to solve the problem of procrastination. There's something else deeper going on here. And and a lot has been written about it. There are articles in famous journals like The Economist and the Wall Street Journal. and they're starting to describe this problem of procrastination as something intractable, a problem that cannot be solved. I don't agree with them. I think there is a solution to procrastination, and that's what we're going to try to solve today. Let's look at the brain. Maybe if we know something about brain biology, okay, how the brain actually works, we might be able to get some clues on how to solve the problem. So the top part of your brain is called the cerebral cortex. It's this part up here, and what it's responsible for is processing knowledge, thinking, understanding, planning. When you do your time management, all that information is being processed up here in the cerebral cortex. Then you have the brain stem, the lower part of the brain here, and the limbic system. And it's there to process emotions, fear, desire, greed, all those feelings and emotions we have in life. That's where they're taking place. They're centered in the brainstem. Now, let's think for a minute here. Let's think about brain biology and what's really happening. Our time management, okay, our planning, our strategizing is happening up here in the cerebral cortex, in the cerebral hemisphere. And these are the higher brain functions where they're located, but there's one thing that the cerebral cortex cannot do. It cannot make you do anything. It cannot push you into action. For action to occur, there has to be some sort of emotion driving you, some sort of fear or greed or something that you want. So if you want another picture here to imagine a car, okay? The cerebral cortex, that's the steering wheel, the controls, the gas pedal, the brakes, all the controls in the car, they're up here. And the brainstem, that's the engine. That's where the power is. Now imagine a car that has all the controls, the steering wheel, everything you need, but there's no engine in there. That car is not going to go anywhere, okay? So we are emotion driven. To get anything done, we have to experience some sort of emotion. Remember that. We're going to be returning to this. Okay, so procrastination, we saw that psychologists can't figure it out. Everybody has an opinion, but the problem is still there. Now, scientists, when they're having a hard time solving a problem, they take a step back and they ask themselves, am I asking the right question? Okay, how do you solve procrastination? Are we even asking the right question right now? Well, imagine that you just bought a house or got a new apartment or a friend, and you ask the question, how do I get rid of the emptiness of my new home? So you have a new apartment and there's nothing in there. And you ask, how do I get rid of the emptiness? Doesn't that seem like a strange question to you? How do I get rid of the emptiness? Well, the emptiness, it's a negative. And how do you get rid of a negative? I don't think you have to get rid of a negative. It's a negative right from the start. So this isn't the right question to be asking. The right question you should be asking is, how can I fill my home? Okay, it's already empty and we want to put something inside it. Okay, I think that's the reason why we're having so much difficulty with the question of how do we solve procrastination? What does procrastination mean? Procrastination means we're not doing something. So if we ask, how do we get rid of procrastination? It's asking, how do we get rid of not doing what we have to do? That might not be the right question. So what's the opposite of procrastination? Being industrious, okay? Being productive, getting stuff done. So instead of asking, how do I eliminate procrastination? We're going to ask a new question. We're going to ask, How do I become an industrious person? How do I increase my productivity? We're going to be looking at this in positive terms. And well, the way you become industrious, the way you get things done, is exactly the same way a company gets things done, by setting up a workflow. What are the steps? What is the procedure to accomplish an end goal? Set up a workflow. So let's take a very simple example, an example I think everybody can relate to. Cleaning your home, getting your home tidy. Okay, well, that could be something you're procrastinating on and something that you're not doing. Let's write this out formally, the actual steps and workflow for cleaning a home. Well, let's have a meeting. Maybe you live with other people, your parents, family, friends, and you want to do some planning first and delegation. Okay, we have certain cleaning tasks we have to do. Who's going to clean the kitchen? Who's going to clean the bedrooms? And so on. And we got to delegate this and plan it out. Now, when you plan and delegate, okay, after you've done that, the next obvious step, start using some time management tools. Get it into your to-do list. Get it into your calendar. Who's going to do what? When is it going to be done? Set up some due dates. Go out and purchase some cleaning supplies. That's the next logical thing you have to do. And then there's a bunch of tasks, clean room 1, clean room 2. Now, the last step here, okay, that's really the key. Invite a friend over for dinner. Now, think about this for a minute. Why is that so important? What does that have to do with cleaning my home or the workflow? Well, if you think about it, it gives you motivation. There's that social pleasure you get from having a friend coming over, or maybe it's the embarrassment. You can't invite a friend over if your home is a mess. That is the brainstem, okay? That is the part, that is the emotion that makes this whole thing work. So set it all up, but don't forget to put in the emotion or the engine that's going to drive the whole thing. So this workflow, okay, from meeting and planning all the way through execution, okay, that's all going into your cerebral cortex. Your brainstem, on the other hand, it only listens to emotion. And that's why you need to have this final step here that will activate the brainstem.